Hello friends, I am Aryan Guru working as Assistant Professor in Sharjah Institute of Technology, College of Engineering. Today we are going to see what are the special provisions in certain buildings. So in this slide we are going to see why there is need to go for special provisions for the building. These regulations are applicable to all buildings and facilities used by the public such as educational, institutional, assembly, commercial, business, mercantile buildings constructed on plot having an area of more than 2000 square meter. It does not apply to private and public residences. Then the site development. The level of roads, access paths and parking areas shall be described in the plan along with specification of the material. Then regarding the access path and walkways. Access path from plot entry and surface parking to building entrance shall be minimum of 1800 mm wide, having even surface without any steps. Slope, if any, shall not have gradient greater than 5%. Selection of floor material shall be made suitably to attract or to guide visually impaired persons, limited to colored floor material, whose color and brightness is conspicuously different from that of surrounding floor material, or the material that emits different sounds to guide visually impaired persons, hereinafter referred to as guiding floor material, which are given in the Annexure 1. The finishes shall have a non-slip surface with a texture traversable by a wheelchair. Curves, wherever provided, should blend to a common level. When we consider special provisions, we should consider the parking. For parking of vehicle of handicapped people, the following provisions shall be made. First, surface parking for two car spaces shall be provided near entrance for the physically handicapped persons with maximum travel distance of 30 meters from the building entrance. The width of parking base shall be minimum 3.6 meters. The information stating that the space is reserved for wheelchair users shall be conspicuously displayed. Guiding floor material shall be provided or a device which guide visually impaired person with audible signals or other devices which serve the same purpose shall be provided. We are going to see the building requirements. The specified facilities for the buildings for physically handicapped person shall be as follows. First, approach to plinth level, corridor connecting the entrance, exit for the handicapped, stairways, lift, toilet, and drinking facilities. So these are the special requirements for the handicapped persons. Then approach to the plinth level. Every building should have at least one entrance accessible to the handicapped and shall be indicated by proper signage. This entrance shall be approached through a ramp together with the stepped entry. Then ramped approach. Ramped shall be finished from non-slip materials to enter the building. Minimum width of ramp shall be 1800 mm with maximum gradient of 1:12. Length of ramp shall not exceed 9 meter, having 800-meter high handrail on both sides extending 300 mm beyond top and bottom of the ramp. Minimum gap from the adjacent wall to the handrail shall be 50 mm. So these are some guidelines which are to be considered whenever we are going for planning of the buildings. Then in case of stepped approach, for stepped approach, size of tread shall not be less than 300 mm and maximum riser shall be 150 mm. So this consideration should be reflected in the planning of the ramp or even steps in the specialized buildings. Provision of 800 mm high handrail on both sides of the stepped approach similar to the ramped approach. Then exit entrance door. Minimum and clear opening of the entrance door shall be 900 mm and it shall not be provided with a step that obstruct the passage of a wheelchair user. Threshold shall not be raised more than 12 mm. Then the entrance landing. Entrance landing shall be provided adjacent to ramp with minimum dimension of 1800 mm by 2000 mm. The entrance landing that adjoins the top end of the slope shall be provided with floor material to attract the attention of visually impaired persons, limited to colored floor material whose color and brightness is conspicuously different from that of surrounding floor material, or the material that emits different sound to guide visually impaired person, hereinafter referred as guiding floor material in Annexure 1. Finishes shall have a non-slip surface with a texture traversable by a wheelchair. Curves wherever provided should blend to a common level. Then the next provision is corridor connecting the entrance slash exit for the handicapped. The corridor connecting the entrance for handicapped leading directly outdoors to a place where information concerning the overall use of specified building can be provided to visually impaired person either by a person or by signs shall be provided as follows. First, guiding floor material shall be provided or device that emits sound to guide visually impaired persons. Then the minimum width shall be 1500 mm. In case there is a difference of level, slope ways shall be provided with a slope of 1:12. Handrails shall be provided for ramps. The stairway is one of the provisions to be made. So one of the stairways near the entrance for the handicapped shall have the following dimensions or provisions. The minimum width shall be 1350 mm. The height of riser shall not be more than 150 mm and the width of tread should be 300 mm. The step shall not have abrupt nosing. The maximum number of risers on a flight shall be limited to 12. Handrails shall be provided on both sides and shall extend 300 mm on top and bottom of each flight of steps. Then lifts. Wherever lift is required as per the bylaws, provision of at least one lift shall be made for the wheelchair user with the following cage dimension of lift recommended for passenger lift of 13 persons capacity as per the Bureau of Indian Standard. The clear internal width shall be 1100 mm, clear internal width shall be 2000 mm and entrance door width shall be 900 mm. A handrail not less than 600 mm long at 1000 mm above floor level shall be fixed adjacent to the control panel. The lift board lobby shall be of an inside measurement of 1800 mm by 1800 mm or more. The time of an automatically closing door should be minimum 5 seconds and the closing speed should not exceed 0.25 meter per second. Then the interior of the cage shall be provided with a device that audibly indicates the floor. The cage has a reach indicates that the door of the cage of entrance slash exit is either open or closed. Provision is toilets. One special auto closet in a set of toilets shall be provided for the use of handicapped with essential provision of wash basin near the entrance for the handicapped. The minimum size of the toilet shall be 1500 mm by 1750 mm. Minimum clear opening of the door shall be 900 mm and the door shall swing out. Suitable arrangement of vertical slash horizontal handrails with 50 mm clearance from wall shall be made in the toilet. The water closet seat shall be 500 mm from the floor. Then the next provision is drinking water. Suitable provision of drinking water shall be made for the handicapped near the special toilet provided for them. Then designing for children. In the buildings meant for the predominant use of children, it will be necessary to suitably alter the height of handrail and other fitting and fixture, etc. Then guiding and warning floor material. The floor material to guide or to warn the visually impaired person with a change of color or material with conspicuously different texture and easily distinguishable from the rest of the surrounding floor material is called guiding or warning floor material. The material with a different texture gives audible signals with sensory warning when a person moves on the surface with walking stick. The guiding floor material is meant to give the directional effect or warn a person at a critical place. This floor material shall be provided in the following areas: the access path to the building and to the parking area. Second is the landing lobby towards the information board, reception, lifts, staircases and toilets. And immediately at the beginning or end of the walkways where there is a vehicular traffic, and the at the location abruptly changing in level or beginning and end of the ramp, and immediately in front of an entrance, exit, and the landing. Then the next provision is proper signage. The appropriate identification of specific facilities within a building for the handicapped person should be done with proper signs. Visually impaired persons make use of other senses such as hearing and touch to compensate for the lack of vision, whereas visual signs benefit those with hearing disabilities. Signs should be designed and located so that they are easily legible by using suitable letter size not less than 20 mm high. For visually impaired person, information board in braille should be installed on the wall at a suitable height, and it should be possible to approach them closely. Then to ensure safe walking, there should not be any protruding sign which create obstruction in walking. Public address system may also be provided in busy public areas. The symbol or information should be in contrasting in color and properly illuminated because people with limited vision may be able to differentiate amongst primary colors. International symbol marks for wheelchair be installed in a lift, toilet, staircases, parking areas, etc. that have been provided for the handicapped. Then the installation of solar assisted water heating system. Solar water heating system should be made in the building for hospitals, hotels, hostels, guest houses, policemen, arm, army barracks, canteens, laboratories, and research institutions, schools and colleges, and other institutes. The solar water heating system should be made mandatory in the hospitals and hotels, where the hot water requirements are of continuous nature. These buildings should be provided with auxiliary backup system. The use of solar water heating system is recommended in the following type of building in government, semi-government, and institutional buildings where the hot water requirement may not be continuous or permanent, such as guest houses, policemen army barracks, canteens, laboratory, and research institutions where hot water is needed, hostels, schools, colleges, and other institutes. The installation of electrical backup in all such water heating systems shall be optional depending on the nature of requirement of hot water. It is suggested that solar heating system of the capacity of about 100 liters per day based on thermosiphoning with necessary electrical backup be installed at residential buildings like hostels. In order to facilitate the installation of solar water heating system, the new building shall have the following provisions. All such buildings where solar water heating systems are to be installed will have open sunny roof area available for installation of solar water heating system. The roof loading adapted in the design of such building should be at least 50 kg per square meter for the installation of solar water heating system. A solar water heating system can also be interchanged with the building design. These either can be put on the parapet or could be integrated with the south-facing vertical wall of building. The best inclination of the collector for the regular use throughout the year is equal to local latitude of the place. The collector should be facing south. However, for only winter use, the optimum inclination of the collector would be latitude plus 15 degrees south. Even if the collectors are built in south-facing vertical wall of buildings, the output from such collectors during winter month is expected to be within 32% output from the optimum inclined collector. Then all the new buildings to be constructed shall have an installed hot water line from rooftop and insulated distribution pipelines to reach the points where hot water is required in the building. The capacity of solar water heating system to be installed on the building shall be restricted or described on the basis of average occupancy of the building. The norms for hospitals, hotels, and other functional buildings are given below. For example, for hospital, 100 liter per capita per day is the requirement of hot water. Similarly, for hotels, 150 liters per capita per day. For hostels and other buildings, 25 liter per capita per day, canteen as required, laboratory research institution as required. An open area of 3 square meters should be required for installation of collector which supplies about 100 liters of water per day. At least 60% of the roof area may be utilized for installation of the system. The, the specification for the solar water heating system laid down by the Ministry of Non-Conventional Energy Source can be followed. Flat plate collector conforming to. Then the next provision is proper signage. The appropriate identification of specific facilities within a building for the handicapped person should be done with proper signs. Visually impaired persons make use of other senses such as hearing and touch to compensate for the lack of vision, whereas visual signs benefit those with hearing disabilities. Signs should be designed and located so that they are easily legible by using suitable letter size not less than. Then the entrance landing. Entrance landing shall be provided adjacent to ramp with minimum dimension of 1800 mm by 2000 mm. The entrance landing that adjoins the top end of the slope shall be provided with floor material to attract the attention of visually impaired persons. Limited to colored floor material whose color and brightness is conspicuously different from that of surrounding floor material, or the material that emits different sound to guide visually impaired person, hereinafter referred as guiding floor material in Annexure 1. Finishes shall have a non-slip surface with a texture traversable by a wheelchair. Curves wherever provided should blend to a common level. Provision is toilets. One special auto closet in a set of toilets shall be provided for the use of handicapped with essential provision of wash basin near the entrance for the handicapped. The minimum size of the toilet shall be 1500 mm by 1750 an open well of minimum 1 meter diameter and 6 meter in depth into which rainwater may be channeled and allowed it to filter for removing silt and floating material. The well shall be provided with ventilating covers. The water from the open well may be used for non-potable domestic purposes such as washing, flushing, and for watering the garden, etc. Rainwater harvesting system for recharge of groundwater may be done through a bore well around which a pit of 1 meter width may be excavated up to a depth of at least 3 meter and refilled with a stone aggregate and sand. The filtered rainwater may be channeled to the refilled pit for recharging the bore well. Then all the new buildings to be constructed shall have an installed hot water line from rooftop and insulated distribution pipelines to reach the points where hot water is required in the building. The capacity of solar water heating system to be installed on the building shall be restricted or described on the basis of average occupancy of the building. The norms for hospitals, hotels, and other functional buildings are given below. For example, for hospital, 100 liter per capita per day is the requirement of hot water. Similarly, for hotels, 150 liters per capita per day. For hostels and other buildings, 25 liter per capita per day. Canteen as required. Laboratory research institution as required. An open area of 3 square meters should be required for installation of collector which supplies about 100 liters of water per day. At least 60% of the roof area may be utilized for installation of the system. The, then such pits or trenches shall be backfilled with filter media comprising the following materials. One is 40 mm stone aggregate as bottom layer up to 50% of the depth. Second is 20 mm stone aggregate as lower middle layer up to 20% of the depth. Poor sand as upper middle layer up to 20% of the depth. A thin layer of fine sand is as top layer. Top 10% of the pit trenches will be empty and splash is to be provided in this portion in such a way that Rooftop water falls on the splash pad. Brick masonry wall is to be constructed on the exposed surface of pit trenches and the cement mortar plastered. The depth of wall below ground shall be such that the wall prevents loose soil entering into the pits or trenches. The projection of wall above ground shall be at least 15 centimeters. And then perforated concrete slabs shall be provided on the pit oblique trenches. If the open space surrounding the building is not paved, the top layer up to a sufficient depth shall be removed and refilled with the coarse sand to allow percolation of rainwater into ground. The terrace shall be connected to the open well, bore well, oblique storage tank, recharge pit, trenched by means of HDPE/PVC pipes through filter media. A valve system shall be provided to enable the first washing from roof or terrace catchment, as they would contain undesirable dirt. The mouth of all pipes and openings shall be covered with mosquito insect-proof wire net. For efficient discharge of rainwater, there shall be at least two rainwater pipes of 100 diameter for a roof area of 100 square meter. Then the entrance landing. Entrance landing shall be provided adjacent to ramp with minimum dimension of 1800 mm by 2000 mm. The entrance landing that adjoins the top end of the slope shall be provided with floor material to attract the attention of visually impaired persons. Limited to colored floor material whose color and brightness is conspicuously different from that of surrounding floor material, or the material that emits different sound to guide visually impaired person, hereinafter referred as guiding floor material in Annexure 1. Finishes shall have a non-slip surface with a texture traversable by a wheelchair. Curves wherever provided should blend to a common. So thank you for patient